Before we get started, we want to share a quick note. In this episode, we talk about motivation, mindset, and some of the challenges entrepreneurs face. We're not mental health professionals, and nothing we share should be taken as medical or therapeutic advice.
If you ever feel overwhelmed, hopeless, or find yourself thinking about harming yourself or others, please reach out for help right away. Talk to your doctor, a trusted friend, or a local hotline in your area. You don't have to go through tough moments alone, and getting support is a strong and courageous step.
Welcome to Market Like a Hotshot, episode 30. Jeff DeSocio, James,
It is so cool to be here with our nice holiday
you see this?
merch.
Check this out, marketlikeahotshot.com. T-shirts, you got one, I got one.
It's so exciting to have these things.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Too bad we can't wear them outside, though.
I know. It's like, it's one of those times of year where it's not exactly fun to be outside.
It's not T-shirt weather here in Massachusetts at all.
Definitely not. At least in the podcast studio here, it's always like 80 degrees.
Yeah.
So it's perfect for us today.
We need the palm tree behind us, right? It's nice and warm in this room. So we got a pretty good, I love the topic today.
Yeah. And it's going to be what we call, remember back in the 80s, they'd have a very special episode.
Yeah.
But this one's one that's really, really exciting for us to really talk about, because during this time of year, this is a topic that I think is really helpful for a lot of people.
So motivate yourself like a hot shot,
Right.
episode 30. So before we jump into things, we just got through pretty amazing holiday season, I would say. New Year's, Christmas, and we got the energy of a fresh start now.
Yeah.
Isn't it nice that a lot of people think that way? They reflect. You're having your bourbon on New Year's Eve. You're reflecting, and I didn't have any bourbon actually. I didn't know what I had, but
Eggnog. No.
It was probably eggnog, and and then you're looking at your fresh start. You're energized. Everybody's energized for the new year. Yeah, so before we even get started more, wishing all the hot shots out there an amazing, incredible 2026.
Yeah.
Let's talk about motivating yourself today, avoiding those pitfalls that demotivate you, and then we'll have a plan and a great outcome, a successful outcome towards the end. So we already talked. This is a different episode. We want to celebrate the wins and progress you've seen from listeners and all, and then what's some of the motivation that's not automatic?
It's this time of year is can be tough for a lot of people. In fact, the New York Times had an article about this recently too. How there's people out there that a lot of times, some of us reflect on all the good things we did in the prior year.
Yeah.
Where others, we kind of look back at the year and it's like we focus on the things that we didn't accomplish, all the
problems.
The problems and things like that. So it's, this is often a tough time of year for people. I mean, you mentioned the weather. When we first started doing these podcasts over the summer,
it was 100 degrees.
Yeah, there was a heck of a lot more green out there. I think we were both wearing shorts, and now it's like we've got our winter jackets and our boots on. And who knew we were going to get 2 inches of snow yesterday, right?
Yeah, right. Get that shovels out and everything.
Yeah.
And then, now that we're into the new year here on January 2nd, Valentine's Day is coming up.
Right. And that can be a difficult time. For
if you have someone in your life, it's great. You got the pressure of getting them a gift or whatever, or dinner. But the ones that don't have anyone in their life, it's a tough day.
It can be a tough day.
Day.
Especially if you're going through a recent breakup too.
Yeah.
We want to just acknowledge that it's it can be a tough time of year for a lot of folks, and give you some ways to help with that. Like some of the other things too. Like what are two other things that a lot of people are dealing with, not only this time of year, but all the time?
Well, this is, I'll say, post 1999 or 2000, something called social media. Right? Comparisons.
Right.
Seeing your friend under some palm tree, or they just bought a new Porsche. Their life is wonderful. Look at me videos.
Right.
And then you feel like you just want to bury yourself in a hole when you see that. Even though if you're probably more successful than they are, comparing yourself to others on social media has been harmful. I would say get off social media if it bothers you that much, right?
Right, or mute people too.
Mute them, and then the news cycles. Right?
Yeah.
I haven't watched the news in months.
Yeah,
I don't know about you, but
no, I don't. I mean, I catch it. I caught it on New Year's Eve when I was waiting for the ball to drop, and we had it on the TV, and then I'm like, let's put on something else until they move over to the concerts because. Yeah, a lot of times it's not positive because people, what drives the news is, controversy and bad stuff. Like even with the weather, nobody's going to watch the news if it's like, it's going to be a nice clear day out today.
No, they want to see a blizzard.
Yeah, there's a blizzard coming, and then all of a sudden, and then all the grocery stores, people are buying milk and bread. Like they're not going to be able to get
milk and
there
bread
in
is the
2
most
days.
Unhealthy thing. Why do people buy milk and bread?
I don't know, but it's like
buy a piece of chicken.
Yeah, it's like why do people go crazy? Like they're not going to be able to go to the store for one day, and then they act like they have to stock up for a month. But
I'm at the New Year's. One more thing before we move on.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw Ryan Seacrest, Dick Clark.
Yeah, I watched that.
Did you see Diana Ross?
Holy cow!
Wow.
Yeah,
82 years old.
I know that was
talk about motivating like a hotshot. Look at her.
Yeah.
What's her skincare routine? Seriously.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's something. And we'll talk about that a little bit later about who you surround yourself with. I know you're not going to surround yourself with Diana Ross, but you could probably be influenced by Diana Ross, right?
And the Macy's Thanksgiving parade, they had Darlene Love, who, believe it or not, here's something I learned very, very recently, is that she plays Danny Glover's wife on Lethal Weapon.
Oh, nice.
The whole series. She is in Lethal Weapon, and I'm like, so anyways, we digress.
We're digressing way too much there.
That's real. That's what makes it fun, and I keep hitting the microphones.
Yeah, you stop.
You're going to hear those things a lot from us.
Yeah, cut it out if you don't. So, entrepreneurship. So we talk about, it's exciting. We talk about the Porsches and the motivate. Look at me. I'm in Miami today and all that. And, YouTube ads are out of control, and you got these coaches selling, hey, listen to my class for $7 and you're going to be a millionaire like me. What's the reality there?
It's funny because I have a huge pet peeve with that stuff. Like I'll go onto YouTube, like you mentioned, and you'll see the guy that's like stepping off a private jet, getting into a Ferrari, going over the yacht, all that other stuff. And we've actually, you and I have met people that try and have that vibe as well. And we know it doesn't really reflect reality. Entrepreneurship is not easy. And you have these people selling shortcuts that are misrepresenting what it's really like for their own personal gain, which I think is sleazy.
It is. So the reality is long hours.
It is. It's long hours, a ton of pressure. Not to dwell on the negative stuff, but just being real. I mean, you don't see that on social media. There's a lot of uncertainty. And then you have a lot of responsibility. It's like, somebody messes up on your team, that falls under you.
Yeah, because it's your company.
Yeah.
Right?
And
it's your business.
you can't blame stuff on other people. Like you have to ultimately be responsible.
Yep.
So like a lot of folks that are, I want to be my own boss. When you become your own boss, it's like, you got no one to, at least when you have a boss, you can say, I'm sorry I screwed up, help me.
Yeah, I know. And saying like, I want to be my own boss and, whatever. I want to give up the 40-hour 9 to 5, but they end up working. You're working 100 hours a week.
Yeah.
You're not working 40 hours a week anymore. But they always to normalize the experience, though, you have to look at it from a perspective.
Yeah.
Even though you have those bad things happening, you're not behind, you're not failing, you're only human.
Right.
So and then. Let's get into some personal stuff. Sorry, James, right? So a moment when motivational dip for you, besides when you go outside and you freeze your friggin' nose off.
We have a lot of these things, and it's it can be something like, a client going out of business. We've had a few of that happen.
Yep.
And it's tough because it's like sometimes you really enjoy working with them. Every business runs into snags like that. So like it can be technology. I'm going to mention the W word, WordPress. Like sometimes
he just doesn't learn.
Yeah,
man.
Sometimes WordPress or a plugin.
All the bugs, but yeah.
Yeah, the latest version of WordPress broke a lot of the way the mailing worked. So a bunch of our sites that send email.
We'll convert them soon. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like that was something where it's like in the middle of other stuff, I'm like, yeah, but it kind of goes back to one of the things we're going to talk about, which is that sometimes the problem seems a lot bigger than it really is.
Really, yeah. If you focus on the problems, and then, being a community builder, being a recruiter,
Yeah.
I've had, especially as a recruiter, I've had some really crappy days, but I've had some really great days. So
Yeah.
what you got to do is you learn from those crappy days. And your positive vibe coming out of a crappy day is, what did I learn, and what can I do better? How do I motivate myself? That, if you have a bad day, that's just part of being human, part of the whole trade, and you just move on, right? So.
Right.
And, motivation's not, you can't, you're human. You're not going to be motivated all the time.
Yeah.
There's so many days you're going to dip, right? We all have off days.
We do.
Yeah,
And
so.
there are times where it's like, and I've had those, getting up in the morning knowing that I'm going to have to deal with something I really don't want to deal with today, but.
I say tackle that thing first thing.
Yeah.
First thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if they always say the hardest thing first. Hardest thing first.
Eat that frog, Brian
Eat that
Tracy,
frog.
right?
Put some barbecue sauce on it, right?
You're talking to a vegetarian here.
I know. I'm sorry, man. You're not the only one. So, let's go into the positive spin here.
Yeah.
What's helped us get motivated, right?
What's really helped me in particular, is being surrounded by other people that are of a similar mindset and have, a more positive attitude.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to talk about the gym a little later, but going around, people at the gym are always motivated and positive.
Yeah.
Networking events, people are always
For the
motivated
most
and
part,
positive.
yeah.
Even if you get into things like your church group, I don't know if I've ever been to a church group that's been negative, ever. Not to get religious or anything here, but there's different avenues that you surround yourself with positive people, and then all of a sudden you're the sum of the 5 people you hang out with the most. What happens? You get motivated, and the outcome is better, right?
Right. I mean, on the flip side of that too is you want to move away from, your toxic or draining resources or influences.
Yeah.
And sometimes people too. Like, one thing that I learned about 10 years ago, I finally stopped doing this, is that when I was talking to a group of people and we started hitting what we call a pity party, right? Or start getting into those toxic conversations where everything sucks and like it starts spiraling.
It's like a Linkin Park song. Or was that Limp Bizkit?
Which one? What's
break stuff? Everything sucks.
Don't
listen to Limp Bizkit if you're down.
But I mean, the thing about a lot of that stuff too is that it really, the people that you're around really do have an influence on you, and it's up to you to make sure that you're around the people that are positive versus ones that drain you. And I mean, sometimes that you don't realize it until you take a step back. And one acid test for that is that when you're around people, think about how you feel before you talk with them, and then think about how you feel after. Right?
Yeah. Do you feel like inspired after you hang out with them?
Like, I want to shout out our Boston boys, Coach Trev and Credit Card
birthday
Rob.
Boy. It was his birthday yesterday.
Oh, it was?
Well, a couple of days ago.
Oh, yeah. So we'll wish him a belated. But like, when the 4 of us get together, it's like, I remember I was going through a tough time personally with some deaths in my family and such, and I hung out with you guys, and I felt great afterwards.
Yeah.
And like, that's something that when you have a group of people like that, and sometimes you have to be that person for other people too.
Yeah, I love being that person.
Yeah. I mean,
it's part of what my reason to be on earth is to be that positive influence, walk in the room and be able to bring the room up versus down, right? You want to, and you know what? These are the indirect ways that you're to motivate yourself if you're that person.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing along those lines, though, too, is that sometimes people who you think don't need that boost,
they
need it more than other people. Like, not to use Superman as an example. Right?
Superman.
But like,
another movie reference.
I know, we always do these movie references. But there are people that you think don't need the help.
Yeah.
And they really do need it.
It's probably those people that have all those posts. Life is Wonderful posts.
Right.
that are hurting inside. So, dig deeper if you get to know them a little bit. What's some motivational mindset resources you have? Besides people, we talked about people already.
Yeah. We talked about staying away from the bad ones, but for me, videos, movies, song. I actually, on Spotify, have a playlist called Motivational. So when I need that boost, I'll put that on.
All right, let's see. What's a Feudo song? What do you listen to get motivated?
It's all, hair
Movies?
band.
Hair band?
It's actually all hair band.
Hair band. So, okay.
Some
Motley Crue.
WWE mixed in there.
Smoking in the Boys' Room by Motley Crue? No, probably not.
It does have Welcome to the Jungle in
Welcome
there.
to the Jungle.
Kickstart My Heart. Yeah, so there's some Motley
That's
Crue.
actually a good motivating song.
It is.
Kickstart My
Great
Heart.
one.
Yeah. Get going. You didn't ask what mine is.
I know. I want to hear about yours.
All right, there's a little bit of rap and there's a little bit of rock. Eminem, Lose Yourself from the 8 Mile movie. Then you hear that bass, dun, 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 that just fires you, right? And there's since success is my option, failure is not, right? You hear that? That's a very simple line, but that fires you up. There's another rap song I want to bring up. Remember MC Hammer?
Oh yeah.
Remember him, man? Right? Too legit.
Yeah.
Too legit to quit.
Wasn't it too legit to quit? I forget the sign language.
That was
on there.
That was my gym song back when it was out.
That's kind of cool.
That was a good one. And then in the rock side, Van Halen, Right Now.
Yeah.
Sammy Hagar singing. I just love the piano on that, and that just fires me up. Use music to fire you up instead of listening to the news in your car. Put on Eminem, Van Halen. MC Hammer, do stuff like that, and it's going to help you.
Right, and I think Right Now is a good example because it's a very good example because Pepsi used that.
Yeah.
I think it was actually Crystal Pepsi.
Oh,
which
God.
Didn't go. It was.
All right, we're going to have another episode called Be Healthy Like a Hotshot.
Yeah.
You're not going to have drinking Pepsi there. But yeah, motivation. I always say music is motivating, and of course videos. Like a Tony Robbins video. I think he's a little over the top, but
he is now. But his older stuff was really good.
But you listen to stuff like that, and that should get you fired up. But what I always say is listen to it, and then put an action plan towards an outcome.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Action motivates you. Action will motivate you to be more positive. Because if you did something great today, you're going to feel better about yourself. Celebrate those small wins.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Those small wins can be something as simple as, every day I do my top 3 things, and once I get them done, maybe I'll reward myself by, all right, I'll watch a video, or it doesn't have to be big.
Yeah,
right?
No, it could be small stuff. And then, comparison kills motivation. Don't compare yourself. I wanted to ask you, you're one of many digital marketing agencies in the Metro West, so, yeah, you probably compare yourself, but do you get pissed off about it?
I don't. Not anymore. It was something when I first started 5 years ago. I was a lot more into and focused on, and now it's you've got to be aware of what your competition is doing, but I'm not obsessed like I used to be.
Yeah, so that's a big tip right there. Don't be obsessed by your competition. Learn from them. We do the same thing with Broadreach, our staffing agency. We know we're different.
Yeah,
we're way different from we're a bunch of seasoned practitioners and advisors. There's not many agencies that are like that, so we're not going to. We may see what other companies are doing, but we're on our own road, man.
Yeah.
You're not thinking about what are they doing? Oh wait, they just did that podcast, or something like that, right?
I mean, it's funny you mention that because I noticed, and again now that I've stopped paying attention, I've actually noticed people copying us.
Yeah.
I'd go in and I'd use certain hashtags, and then I'd see one of our competitors using the same exact hashtags, and then we would
we're motivating them.
Yeah, it's so I guess, I was motivating them. But, at first I was just oh, what and then now I look back, I laugh at it. It's whatever, because, it's you don't want to focus on that type of stuff.
Yeah, you just brought up a great point. Laugh off the negativity.
Yeah.
I know it's a weird tip, but just don't let stuff bother you like that. And I was a big time victim of that. I used to let stuff bother me all the time.
Right.
Especially going back to the recruiting world. Like I didn't place a candidate, or the company went with another agency, and I just went, woe is me. Now I'm like, you know what? What can I do better? How can I motivate myself to do better next time? And it's an important thing. So, all right. So when is it time to reach out to professional support?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of times when we feel overwhelmed or stuck, and if you're constantly down, if you feel that a lot, it's a good time to reach out to someone. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I go to my doctor's office for my physical, they give me this questionnaire, and one of the things on there
They always ask those questions.
yeah, and they're like, do you feel down? Do you feel hopeless? Do you feel things like that?
Yeah.
Even if they don't ask you that, if you're feeling that, bring it up. I mean,
Yeah.
we all go through it at some point in our careers, and I remember years ago talking to my doctor about, I said, yeah, I noticed that I fell down a lot, and we walked through and talked about different options.
Yeah.
Thankfully, my last physical, which I just walked down the street for, my doctor, like I said, I told him what was going on. He's like, comparing it back to, 8-9 years ago or whatever it was, and he's like, wow, this is like a nice, and that gave me a boost.
There you go, motivating yourself at the
Yeah.
doctor's office.
And I mean, sometimes we don't do that. Is we don't really see how far we've grown because we're just like we time slice, right?
Yeah.
So like, I do a program every September.
Yeah.
And I look at my answers that I had done in that program a year ago, because as business owners, we don't get annual reviews.
No, we don't. You give reviews to yourself, maybe.
Yeah.
That's about it.
But
right?
I haven't been doing that. But I look at our numbers and stuff like that. But I mean, for this, I've actually gone through and looked at. It's a motivational program, so you do a lot of motivational related stuff that you write in a journal. So when I look at my answers from the year before and then compare them to where I am now, I can actually see the areas where I'm growing, and that's motivating.
That's motivating, without a doubt.
And I can see the areas where I'm not, and then it's like, all right, now I got to shift my focus to that. So
that's it. That's the way it goes. So, and one last thing before we move on to some hotshot tips, right? There's no shame in asking for help.
There's not.
Zero. You should never, especially if you're in an exclusive. We talk about Mass Professional Networking in AMA Boston, where I'm on the board, and it's a forum for support and inclusivity. I'm saying that word right.
Yeah.
But you have to, no matter what your background is, you should have that comfort place. And reach out to us if you know us. I love to help people too.
Yeah.
So it's building a support system. So building that support system is probably our first great tip. But how about the routines? What's a good routine that protect your mental space?
Yeah, I mean, I always say a good start to your day, having a good, I have my morning routine, I know. So we got to share this.
Okay.
Your text that you sent me. So Jeff has obtained a few passes for his gym, but he has told me that they are only valid at 6:30 a.m.
That's right. You got to join me at 6:30 in the morning at the gym.
And exercising is a wonderful, wonderful way to start your day.
It is.
And if if a gym membership or getting to the gym just isn't appropriate for you, you could do things like do some exercises at home. Like I used to watch a video, even like Netflix and Amazon Prime and all these video services, I think, have these 8-minute, you can always find one on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
An 8-minute workout or 5-minute workout.
Even better, on my channel, The Social Connector, I got all these health and wellness videos.
Oh, nice.
And I have one that had what to do with a couple of dumbbells, what to do with resistant bands.
Yeah.
So check it out, The Social Connector on YouTube. Not to put a little plug there, but that's, we remember when COVID? I mean, 5 months we couldn't go to the gym.
Right.
So I had to build these routines to be able to stay in shape and all that. So, but that's exercise. I would say is one of the best motivators in the world.
And then also
that's
eating,
a really good routine. But.
Yeah, it is. And then eating a healthy breakfast instead of donuts or.
Yep.
or
donuts. Oh no.
Coffee and donuts is probably
the
not
worst.
Not the
worst
best.
breakfast ever.
Yeah. What do you recommend for a healthy breakfast?
High protein all the way.
Yeah.
Low in the carbs, high protein breakfast, whether it's eggs, a low fat, people eat meat, like a low fat sausage type or chicken, It's something that's, and an oatmeal, but not the instant oatmeal. It's got to be the real
Yeah.
fiber, high in fiber. Oatmeal is good. Fruits and vegetables. I have a cup of blueberries every morning.
Oh, that's really good
Yeah,
for
like
you.
blueberries, strawberries.
Yeah.
So you mix it like eggs and like a blueberries would be like perfect. Because you're getting a little protein, you're getting antioxidants. Because you want to fight. And I have one more tip before we move on. Believe it or not, is drinking a tall glass of water before you have anything. Because what it does is it gets the toxins out.
Yeah.
Remember, toxins demotivate you. And this is we're almost having a health and wellness podcast.
We're gonna have to do a special episode.
We'll have to do a special one.
Not a special episode, but we'll do a dedicated.
We'll do a dedicated one.
Episode on health
but
and wellness.
I'm really, we're talking about motivating your mental health and all that. Your health and wellness is a key part to that. So that's why we wanted to bring that home a little bit.
No, it's true. If your body is not healthy, your mind's not going to be, and vice versa too.
So another tip is not isolating yourself. I know some folks are introverts. They don't want to talk to people. I know some people really well. They'd rather be in a room by themselves. But, and they're down in the dumps. Connection fuels motivation. I think you brought up a story a few minutes ago about that you were a little isolated, not to put you on the spot, but you hung out with the Boston boys.
Yeah, I mean, that helped out a lot, is being around, and, back in my days when I was working in corporate, I remember we'd go out to karaoke on, Friday nights periodically, and there'd be times where I'm like, oh, I'm so tired from work. And
yeah.
But then, people would be like, all right, I'm excited to go there, and then I drag my rear end out to the karaoke place, and then afterwards I feel amazing because I'm around people having fun.
Go to a networking event, too.
Yeah. The worst thing you can do is just be isolated, and it's even like sometimes being in this building when I'm the only one in here. When I have the team in here, when other people are in the building, sometimes I'll come in on a Saturday to just get caught up with stuff, and I miss seeing
people around.
Yeah.
That's why if you work from home people, it's not all glamour working from home. Just because of that, you need that connection.
I personally, I was so done with work from home by the time.
It's not. And then we talk about focusing on progress, not perfection. You don't have to be perfect when you're moving the ticker forward. Right, you're not screw up. Learn from it and keep that ticker going. It's like driving down the street and hit a pothole. You're going to hit a pothole sometimes, especially around here.
Yeah, which reminds me, there's one actually right over there.
Oh, yeah, of course. But,
but I hit it like every time I drive.
Great one. But, so that's what you want to, and motivation's not about being fired up all the time. Yeah. You're not going to be 100% on fire, right? You want to show up.
Right. And I mean, there's that saying that, every day above ground is a
Pitbull song.
Good day. Yeah, like the Pitbull.
I got to figure out that Pitbull song.
We got to figure out,
We'll have to do it as starter music, right?
We should do a market like a Hotshot playlist
soundtrack
for everybody to
Tonight,
listen to.
It's like every day above ground's a good day. It's like Pitbull, got those glasses on. Yeah. He's a very
he was on the Rockin' Eve too, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was, but it's interesting. There's some rapper, but he's a motivating guy if you ever know him. So shout out to Pitbull, man. We'll see you down in Miami in a couple months, right? So and then let's land the plane a little bit. That plane is laying in here. So what's some of the actions some of our listeners out there could take to boost their motivation?
Yeah, I mean, I'd find a friend who's very motivational, someone that
someone makes you smile.
Yeah, someone that makes you happy to be around. That's the quickest and easiest thing you can do. And call them, text them.
Call them. I would say, let's get off this social media crap.
Yeah.
Pick up the phone. Hear each other's voices. If you do that. How about taking a break? A lot of people are doing that now during the holiday break.
Yeah.
I've seen some of those. Here we go with the social media posts. Look at me on the beach. But, it's so important to take that break.
It's so funny that, the whole social media posts about being... I used to post a lot of stuff. I went from posting, after my trip to then, posting a week after my trip. And then I'm now... people like, oh, did you go to wherever? Like, did you go to Disney this year? Did you go to, like, yeah, I don't know if I even posted. I think I posted one photo from Chicago.
Oh, really?
But that was when I met with one of our clients out there.
That's a great city.
It is. It was
in the
really,
summer.
Yeah.
Don't go there now, right?
Yeah, I was there in the summer. Which
So
was
how about
nice.
starting with a positive habit? We talked about exercising.
Yeah, and the habits can be micro habits too. So, using your example of exercising, right? Like, maybe you start with 10 push-ups and do that for a week.
Do one push-up.
Yeah.
You moved your body. That's where you start somewhere. It's just we talked about this a little bit earlier about consistency is key. You don't have to be motivated 100% of the time. If you're consistent, that's going to motivate you. And then how about removing that toxicity from your life?
That is the big one, right?
Yeah, I just shake my head when I watch if I ever do see the news. If I see anything to do with anything like that, I just remove it, And then
what are some other toxic things that you think people can remove from their lives?
Politicians, news, actually going to a bar. I mean, that's a weird one, but you go to like a bar, everyone's like they're warning me about their problems and drinking a lot of alcohol. Honestly, where you go to a place where people are getting drunk, you think they're probably
going for an escape.
They're
right.
escaping, and that's probably the wrong escape, I think, from a mental health perspective. I just to be really open. My dad passed away from alcoholism, and I saw it. I saw it from day one. I was a young kid that I didn't want it. That motivated me actually to go the other way. Not look at alcohol as a way to escape. But you want to spend time in a space that's uplifting and safe, right?
Yeah. So like as you mentioned, your networking events with Mass Professional and Little Roadie. And
Little Roadie Professional. We have a new
all of
logo.
those.
New logo, by the way. You have to check it out.
I'll have to see it.
You have
but
to check it out.
A lot of the people that come to those events, they're positive.
I love them, man.
Yeah,
it's a great community.
We do like anything. You're going to get those people that are not quite exciting, but I want to shout out someone who's always in a positive mood.
Who's that?
He was your sponsor of the year,
Mr. Charlie.
Charlie
Passwark.
Charlie Passwark. He's going to be our. He'll be at our live event, which we'll talk about in a little bit when we wind down. But I think being around. Going to events, being around people. I mean, I'm very fortunate. Being in this building, having the Metro West Chamber here, both Riyadh and Louisa, both very motivating. They're good people to talk to. You can vent to them, but then they always bring it back to something positive.
That's the way it does. It's like a sandwich, positive. All right, challenge, not negativity. Maybe it's a challenge. How do we turn that into a positive outcome?
And the other thing, too, on that, which, we forgot to actually mention this, is that a lot of times when people have a problem or a challenge, they focus all their time on that particular
problem.
Yeah, when you should focus it on the solution. Like you were a manager and an IT director and all of that. I'm sure you've got some stories.
Oh, well, there's a problem. Somebody come in my office, shut the door. I got this problem. I was like, okay, how are you gonna fix it? I'm not going to solve all your problems.
Yeah.
Because I'm not being tough. It's not tough love and all that. It's motivating them to be a solution provider. I'm motivating them to have an outcome versus I'm stopped right here.
Yeah.
I had this pothole in the middle of Route 9. My tire is stuck. How do you get around it? How do you get around it? Because it's only going to make you a better leader if I coach you that way.
Exactly. And what you're doing, too, is you're also preventing them from spiraling, because what often happens with the problem is it becomes bigger to them than it really is, and that's a good way to give them a reality check.
Yep.
Sometimes when you do that, you have a challenge and you reach out to somebody to share it. And, I mean, there's times I've done that with you where, like, you come in here and I'm, like, pulling my hair. Not pulling, but, like,
Is that why you're going bald?
Yeah. It's like, there's anything here. But, like, there's times where you'll walk in and I'm like, holy crap, I'm trying to deal with this stuff. And then you're like, oh, well, can't you just fix it by doing this? I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. And, that
motivate like a hotshot.
Yeah, and, like, that concept of, like, a lot of times you can just buy your way out of a problem, like you did with your car.
Yeah.
But like, a lot of times it's just an expense, and all you have to do. There's a good quote somewhere from Harvey Mackay that if you can buy your way out of a problem, you don't have a problem, you have an expense.
Yeah. Yeah. It's only money, right?
Right, and it's like, yeah. I mean, it seems like the end of the world at times, but if you look back,
Yeah.
at what was troubling you in high school, I don't know about you, but I can't think of one issue I had in high school that would even faze me today.
No.
You
No,
know?
I had.
But at the time,
yeah, at the
right?
time, yeah. You were like, what the hell? I had
Yeah.
some. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have a lot of. I wasn't bullied because I always remembered I hung out with the football team,
Yeah.
so nobody messed with me.
Yeah.
So, but it was it. I've seen it all. I've seen it all around. People getting bullied and all that, and those people end up becoming the biggest successes in their life.
Mm-hmm.
Something motivated them
Yeah.
to make a change, right? And they became very big successes. So, hey, let's land the plane here. So we have a live broadcast coming up.
Right.
Right here
January 20th.
in this building, Framingham State Innovation Center, January 20th, 6 p.m. sharp. Right, our second live broadcast. Love it. I think we got some good numbers. We got people coming that night. If you're in the Metro West, look us up. We'll post the link. Why don't we post a link for that on this post? And you also want to, I noticed Spotify, they have the video now. You can see our beautiful Italian faces on Spotify now, right?
You don't have to go to YouTube anymore.
So you got YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, iHeart, Market Like a Hotshot. This is episode 30. I just hit the thing, sorry. Motivate yourself like a hotshot. MarketLikeAHotshot.com. Look at these T-shirts.
And don't forget to bring your T-shirt when you go to the
This
live
T-shirt right
broadcast.
here, man. You got one of these T-shirts on MarketLikeAHotshot.com.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, it's really hot in this room.
I know. This is perfect.
Thank God I got this T-shirt on, because man, it's hot. Market Like a Hot Shot. So have a good day, Jeff D, DeSocio, James Feudo.
Yeah.
Be a hot shot. We'll see you soon.